Yo, what is shaking, everybody? Welcome back to Surface Noise, the B-side. We got some fun stuff for you today. First of all, happy Thursday, everybody. It's almost Friday. Today, we're going to talk about some holy grails, some guilty pleasures, might get into some desert island records. And then, of course, stick around till the very end because I'm going to pass a link on to you so that you can play along on a this one's actually, I think, going to be really fun version of Would You Rather, as always. So we're going to pass that to you. Who knows? Maybe you end up on the leaderboard and end up on Instagram. So I'm posting those things now every week. So hope everyone's doing well. Let me introduce the band. On bass, we got Mr. Rojas. What's up, Jason?
Thanks for having me back, Spins.
Absolutely. The Groove Seeker's on drums. What's up, Groove Seeker?
Hello, friends.
And on tickling the keys tonight, we got Arnaldo from Fidelius Frequency.
Hey guys, how are you? Spins, thanks for having me again.
Of course, always a pleasure to have you guys. I'm simply your master of ceremonies tonight. We'll try to hold it down and have some fun tonight. Cesar's in the house. What's up, baby? Oh, there he goes. I was just about to kick to Jason. I think he felt it, and then he went away. So yeah, we'll kick into and we of course share yours in the chat. Also, we got hopefully some fun grails, some fun guilty pleasures. Always love talking about guilty pleasures. And yeah, we'll have some fun. Okay, well, Jay's not here. So it's like Dave's not here, man. Let's give him another second. I wish I had some Jeopardy music.
Tell us about your warped record.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was supposed to kick off with that, huh? Hey Chris, right. Can you believe it? I got a warped record today.
No, DACs don't warp.
Let me guess. Was it a Blue Note classic?
It wasn't. It wasn't. So I picked up here actually. Well, I don't want to show it because I'm going to show it as a guilty pleasure. But yeah, so it's on clear Coke bottle wax. And, Chris is always sending me the warped videos, check this out, So today I send him one. I'm like, damn, dude, I feel your pain, man. Fortunately, it was like $20 with shipping. So I'm not going to worry about it. I mean, it sounds fine, but it does get the stylus rocking.
Arnaldo has the pain of getting my warped video rants too.
Yeah, some of them are not so bad.
See, that's what I think. Well, I'm like, what is it this time, Groove Seeker?
I know, but I've hit a threshold of principle now. Now I'm just pissed. I'm like an Ivory customer. I kind of turned into a Karen, I think. I want to speak to the manager I want to speak to the manager of every record plant.
There you go. All right, Jay, so you want to kick us off? Jay's Holy Grails versus Guilty Pleasures, or Holy Grails and Guilty Pleasures, however you want to frame it. Tee this one up for us.
Do you want a guilty pleasure or a grail? Pick one.
Either way. I think Groove Seeker says he's only got guilty pleasures tonight, so we can start there.
We'll just, okay, never mind. I was going to...
No, go ahead. Start the way you want to start.
Show a grail.
Honestly, I have grails in the front too, so I'm ready to go.
I was going to show a terrible guilty pleasure.
Let me blow you up here. There we go.
My gosh. Which one should I... Now, you know what? We're just going to go with this one. That came out in 1984. It's not the right number I wanted to show, but it's the last one with Peter Cetera. We're talking about Chicago 17. Okay.
That's your grail, right?
No. It could be, actually. It could be. Yeah, definitely. What's so great about this record? Peter Cetera, duh. Power ballads from the 80s. Come on. You ever heard Hard Habit to Break? Like, holy crap. Bill Champlin, he sings that gruffy voice, and then Peter Cetera sings that really high voice. It's like sweet and sour, that song. There's nothing like that,
Classic.
There's even, I think, what is it? You're the Inspiration is on here? Oh, my gosh.
Oh, so you're going to start, tears might start coming out of my face any moment.
I can't remember which video. Maybe it's You're the Inspiration. Peter Cetera is wearing a Bauhaus t-shirt. A Bauhaus t-shirt.
Oh, really?
Yes. Like, man.
What is he trying to say? This is what I really wish I was doing.
Right. He wanted to be as dark as Peter Murphy? You're joking. So this is my my guilty pleasure, Chicago 17, just 80s power ballads, the high voice of Peter Cetera, the gruffiness of Bill Champlin, you know.
I had that rocking in the car not long ago, dude. And I was like, it's the one where I'm going to Target and I fire up the Chicago and then I come home before I'm done listening and I'm just sitting in the car, like with the rain coming, trying not to like let a tear come out. It's so good, dude. So good. The Karate Kid, right?
Yeah, well, before he did the Karate Kid soundtrack, that's after. Like,
but yeah, I'm saying he did stuff for the Karate Kid too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been Chicago.
One comment, one question from the Groove Seeker. My comment is the last time I heard this album, I was getting a root canal. And my question for you, Jason, is: are you sure it's not a Grail because it says limited edition pressing on the hype sticker?
No, it's a guilty pleasure. Just kidding.
Sneaky.
He's trying to get a twofer. No twofers. So is that like a greatest hits? What is? I mean, it has all the hits on it.
Yeah, this is their record. Like they followed it up, you know, from Chicago 16, which I think came out in 1982, and that's the one I actually wanted to show. I couldn't find it in time, and this is always there. Like anytime, I hate to say it, like I want to make sure that my hearing is legit. I have 2 copies of this. You know, I crank it up to make sure, like, yep, this is peak Chicago. You know. I mean, I know that sounds sacrilegious, you know. Rest in peace, Terry Kath. I know, like, this is, you know, after your time, but, you know, that's the thing. Like, Chicago kept on going. They were going to have hits, you know. So, my choice, my guilty pleasure.
Very nice. That's a great first pick. 17. That's a great first pick. Shout out Vinyl Piper, Vinyl and Kicks in the house, Andy G. What's up, everybody? Good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. Wyoming Dave, KRWD in the house. Woo! Everybody's filling in. The lobby is filling up. Lavelle is here. Yes. All right. Who's next?
I can go next. What do you want? A Grail or a guilty pleasure?
Let's do guilty pleasures. We'll just kind of keep it themed.
All right. Guilty pleasure, which I'm not so guilty about having this. It's the Scissor Sisters debut album. The one with Take Your Mama, Comfortably Numb, Mary, Filthy Gorgeous. I mean, there's probably 5 or 6 singles on here. And it got a recent reissue, actually, for the 20th anniversary. Can you believe this is 20 years old?
Damn.
Yeah. Love this record. And I think they're very good musicians. They know how to write pop songs, too. So,
yeah.
Scissor Sisters, dude.
I remember when that came out, man. Damn, 20 years.
Yep.
That was a very popular record.
Yeah, very.
When it came out.
Yeah. It was like Stacy's mom, and then Scissor Sisters were gonna take your mama out. There was moms were just targeted in that run.
I've seen them live, and they're actually very good.
What kind of? So what, is it just? It's like 2000s pop kind of stuff, or
it's dance pop. Dance pop. I mean, their "Take Your Mama Out" for me, when I listened to it, sounded like Elton John. And on their second album, Elton John co-wrote and guested on a few tracks. So it's pop, dance, a little bit of everything.
Cool. I like it. Johnny Fever in the house. Welcome back to WKRP. OJC's what's up? All right, go for it, Groove Seeker. Give us a guilty pleasure.
This is one of my guilty. Well, I don't know if like guilty pleasures are. It's hard for me because my taste is so exceptional. I don't know if I have guilty pleasures. I'm kidding, guys. But this is my parents' original copy of Meatloaf's "Bat Out of Hell." Ooh. So I'm pretty sure I was conceived to this album, but they won't admit it. And that
explains a lot.
It's a guilty pleasure for me. It's because it reminds me of my parents, and like not many people my age are pulling out "Bat Out of Hell" on a Saturday night and cranking it till they can't hear anymore. But you guys know this album. There's nothing that people don't know about it, but I would say it's a guilty pleasure for me.
What's your favorite song off that record?
It depends. Like "Paradise" by the Dashboard Light is so much fun, but I would think the first track, which is "Bat Out of Hell," 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad is great too. So it's like, it depends what mood I'm in, what my favorite song is.
I have that. I bought that single when I was what was it, 1979? Was it 79 or 70? No, it had to be 77, right?
77. Yeah.
I bought that as a 45.
That's
two
awesome.
Two out of three ain't bad.
It's a great ballad, you know.
I'm going to quote Jason from Tuesday's conversation. I used to have that record.
That's true. I used to have that record.
I think everybody used to have this record, you know, of a certain age. But
You know, it's gone up in price. It's hard to find a copy that is not beat up.
Yeah.
Well, my parents, this is in really good shape. Actually, it plays pretty quiet. I even have the original like insert too. So I didn't know that. I know it's been reissued. Like Friday Music did one. I think this is a first press. I've never even checked. It's on that the orange Epic label. So
are you as critical of the parents you got, the records you got from your parents, as you are Verve by request?
No, I mean, there's a lot of stuff like I have a I actually should have busted this out, but I couldn't find it. But I have like a copy of like my mom's Vicki Lawrence. She's the chick that sang the night the lights went out in Georgia. Like I have stuff like that. They're all in pretty good shape. You know, they played the hell out of their Elvis records, so those aren't always great. But you know, this plays fine. No warps though. No warps on these 140 gram OG pressings they used to put out.
Yeah, go figure. All right, I guess it's my turn. I have a theme tonight for my guilty pleasures, so I'll just go one at a time since it sounds like we're going around a little bit. Oh, let me play a little audio aid first. If you guys haven't heard that 1,000 times on Instagram accompanying some dance, it's Molchat Doma right there from these guys are from Belarusian post-punk synth pop trio. So I don't know, man. I've been kind of getting into this more modern synth pop stuff lately. Kind of takes you back to the 80s. This is going to be a little, I don't know, a little darker. It is not in English, but it's still cool. And yeah, I mean, that was the only song I'd ever heard. I'm not going to play the whole thing, although it'd probably be fine since it's all over social media. But I heard that thing 1,000 times until I was finally like, who the hell is that? So it's Molchat Doma. I guess that's the way you say it. And that's a cool cover too, man. I like that cover of that building. Looking like it's going to slide off the end. But yeah, sorry. I know how many people can relate to this on the panel. Are we just going to get crickets, or do you guys know this?
You found that on TikTok?
I've heard them. Not that album, but I heard another album. I listened to it.
Okay.
I like them. They're pretty cool. I like them.
Yeah, they're cool. I think there's some cool stuff kind of coming out of, and not much of it's not coming out of the US, but there's really this kind of 80s resurgence coming. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So boom, that's my first guilty pleasure. Little Molchat Doma straight from TikTok.
Is that where you found it? Like you said, social media, or you said Instagram? Sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not on TikTok, but I am on Instagram. So I would hear it, you know, like it was trending audio for a while. One of those songs was on constantly, at least in my feed. And so I finally was like, all right, who is this? So anyway, I got curious and grabbed the album, and it's cool. It's really cool.
Nice.
All right. You got another one, Jay?
I wonder which one should I pick. Guilty pleasures. I did talk about this record that came out in 1990. Crap. Maybe 1995. You'll let me know if I'm wrong. I talked about it with Concert Buddy and Cesar. So shout out to Cesar and Concert Buddy. It's Throwing the Copper live. Oof, man. Guilty pleasure. I mean, let's look at the hits here. Selling the Drama, I Alone, Lightning Crashes. You want to blame 90s, well, 2000s butt rock, you know? You start here. You start here, you know? Because they definitely took that sort of like gutturally, you know, guttural voice and like that alternative music. And I mean, I think they popularized like REM melodies, right? Like that sort of drama of them, you know? They had like what, 4 or 5 #1 hits with this record?
Yeah.
And probably the most successful post Talking Heads, Jerry Harrison, produced this record. You know?
That's right.
He's bigger than all of them, really, because of this record alone. Hence, I Alone.
What about fan favorite Shit Town is on there too, right?
Oh, jeez. I mean, actually, selling the drama, that's the one that got me hooked. I saw that video and I'm like, who are these weirdos? Like, damn it. And the song is good, you know? And like the only way to get it is on this like clear toxic waste vinyl, as you can see here, right? You know, man. So, I mean, the whole thing too is like what's messed up is that you're trying to fit like, I think 25 minutes per side. And that sort of squeezes the fidelity, you know?
Yeah.
But I actually compared this to that 2 LP 45. This thing still beat the 2 LP 45.
Wow.
Who did the 12P45?
I can't remember. But I mean,
Was
it
it
had all that
ORG?
space. It just sounded so muffled, like it's sad, you know? Because, I mean, if the 2, LP 45 would have beat this, I would have sold this. Like, this thing's going for what, $200 or something? Like,
And that's a reissue?
No, this is the original.
Oh, they did that on colored vinyl at the time.
Yes. Man.
Yeah, it's not warped, is it? I had the same exact color today. I dropped the needle on it. It was warped.
I mean, when I got this 10 years ago, I was holding it like Tron, like I had the Grail. But this is a guilty pleasure. Sorry.
Master computer.
That's right. Man. All right. I'm done talking about live. I don't
All
think
right.
we'll ever hear, me talking about this record.
I got to shout out Chill Pint asked if that tune I played was Flashdance. And now that you mention it, that little intro sounds exactly like Flashdance. Tap Record, same thing. Maniac. Same thing from Wyoming Dave. P-Town said he bought that record. Yes. In good company.
I mean, shout out to Terry Tap Records, because I would have shown Spin Doctors, but I couldn't find it in time. So there we go.
Concert Buddy in the house. Original was clear and black, says Concert Buddy. All right, you're up, Arnaldo. You have the spotlight.
All right, I'm going to do a little mini flex along with a guilty pleasure by showing Miley Cyrus Bangers.
Ooh, whoa.
Limited edition. Hot Pink. This is the original cover, not the reworked of the reissue from last year. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say. It's got hot legs in the back. Jose's not here, otherwise he would admire the hot legs. I mean, Bangers, Wrecking Ball. What else does it have? Drive is on here. That's it.
Bangers.
I think that's all you have to say. Did you see her when she was performing all that during that era?
No, I didn't. But I like her. I mean, was it last year that she performed at the Grammys when she did Flowers? That was probably the best pop song from last year.
That was a good song for sure.
Let me just share this picture. This is during that era when she was live. I mean, come on now. Jeez.
Well, wasn't she was naked on the Wrecking Ball in the video, right? She was swinging naked.
I mean, bring back that Miley energy back. Oh, man.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, Groove.
I'm going to kind of stay kind of with Rojas. I think Rojas showed probably something from his high school days, so I'm going to show from my high school days too. So I'm not ashamed I own this. The first Coldplay album. First 2 Coldplay albums to me are really great. I had this, and then I gave it a re-listen because my daughter was just playing Coldplay nonstop for like a good 3 months. I was like, you know what? I'm going to show her the first Coldplay album. So we put this on. She's like, that's not Coldplay. I was like, no, this is Coldplay. So this brings me back to like, I don't know, probably junior, senior year of high school. And we all just tried to woo females with this record. Deep philosophical, sensitive conversations while Yellow and Spies were playing in the background.
It's a good record.
It's a good album.
It's a good album. All right, next up, as I keep to my theme, another synth pop. This one, actually, I discovered this. Probably this guy. It's one guy out of the U.S. I don't remember where exactly he's from, but he puts together this synth pop, and he goes by Android Automatic, and this is Before Sunrise. this stuff is cool, man. I mean, this is no vocals or anything, but it's super chill, and it's very nostalgic. I mean, this stuff will take you back to the the great synth pop bands of the 80s. It's really cool, man. This is another one. Talk about it. I mean, so we can continue the theme on where I heard this stuff. So the last one I heard on Instagram. I think this one I heard on some gamer channel or something. Somebody had this stuff spinning in the background, and I had to do a little Shazam on it, and was like, "That's hella cool, man." So this is great. Honestly, I think people should check this stuff out. I mean, Android Automatic. It's really fun. Again, no vocals, but just musical, very 80s synth pop. And I think this guy's one of the ones that's doing it best. And Android Automatic. So I know I'm not going to go forever because I know this stuff's not relatable to a lot of people, but yeah, it's cool, man. This is stuff that this probably came out within the last 10 years, something like that. So
that's a great picture. I like the album cover.
Cool cover. And this is different artwork than what's on like the streaming, where I heard this on like Spotify. It has a different cover, but it's still really cool. I love that. And it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's kind of like 80s noir, which is kind of what that looks like, right? So it's kind of electric 80s and noir. So it's really cool. All right, Jay.
This is my last guilty pleasure. This came out on 1976 before he was an audiophile. I'm just kidding. I can't show. This is so bad.
So come on.
So you can take a joke, right? Actually, we'll go worse. 1975, Billy Joel, live at the Great American Music Hall. This is a guilty pleasure. Like, he tells jokes, and he can back it up because he's talented. Like, he's making... I think he covers, like, some... what is it? I think he does a Joe Cocker impression on this album. That's phenomenal. Like, he could do it, you know? And this is before The Stranger, right? So he had a lot to prove, you know? So this is actually... I mean, the cheese is alive. Of course, it's Billy Joel. Let's just be honest. This isn't Attila, that metal record that he did, but, you know.
But I feel like people can, in hindsight, yes, of course, people see it as cheese. But I think at the time, man, that was just great music. I really like Billy Joel.
I don't know. You got to give this a chance if you never heard this one. Like, I think you can stream it. I think it was part of the box set, but they put it as a standalone, and you can still get it, I believe. So, man.
KRWD says, Jason, the odometer on that record has just rolled over a million miles.
Which one?
Oh, yeah, maybe that one. Is that the closest we're ever going to get to having Fremer on the stream, by the way?
For today, basically.
All right.
Arnaldo.
That's a good one, dude. That's a good one.
All right. The last Grail. I got a little help for this one. Miami Sound Machine. Yeah, Guilty Pleasure. Sorry. This one has, they were still singing in Spanish. A Toda Máquina, which then became Orange Express. Thank you. I have someone helping me out here. But there were other songs that then got turned into English. Dr. Beat was on here, and Los Ojos de Amor, Eyes of Love.
Innocence.
What's it called?
Innocence.
Oh, Innocence. Sorry. They're not.
It's a good thing you have someone there to help you out.
No, I have someone helping me with the English version of it. But yeah, nice Miami skyline, Miami Sound Machine. Yeah,
that's cool. Cool. Is there what's the hit on that one?
Well, it's Dr. Beat. Dr. Beat ended up being the English hit too.
Okay.
So yeah, this is the early version was on here.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm gonna
all right. Last guilty.
Refresh my memory
on
my Sound Machine.
This whole artist catalog is a guilty pleasure of mine. Corinne Bailey Rae. This is her debut album. She had a big hit with "Put Your Records On." She's just fantastic. Good R&B pop. Her last album is a really big departure from what she's done. But I remember, I think I was a senior in college. I was working at one of the music stores I worked at, and like this promo came out, and I just made everybody keep it in the 5-disc changer all day. Just keep on playing it. So I love this record. It's good. It's like the equivalent of liking like a rom-com, like in this record. So that's my third guilty pleasure.
I think you were in a pinch and couldn't find a third one, so you took a record from your daughter's room, didn't you? Be honest.
No, this is such a guilty pleasure of mine that my daughter doesn't even like it. My wife questions me when I put this on. My wife's like, "What are you listening to?" Last night I was listening to psychedelic horse shit, and she has a more visceral reaction to this than psychedelic horse. So,
shout out psychedelic horse shit.
Damn.
Oh man, that's good. Okay, last one for me. This is a little twofer. This is the highlight for me because I just discovered, because I started picking these records up, right? These synth pops, the Android Automatic, a little Molchat Doma, and then while I was at it, I thought, well, I need a third. Things come better in threes, and so I did a little. Spotify is good for that. You can find some other stuff in a similar vein, and this is the stuff I'm most happy with. I only first heard this like 3 days ago. I was spinning it today, and I love it. It's a band called Drab Majesty, and they do sing in English. They coined them dark and alluring dream pop, and this stuff is freaking awesome in my opinion. Like these guys really got it right. I love the glass blocks, by the way, in the background, very 70s. But this stuff is cool, man. Very good songwriting. So a lot of the stuff, the kind of 80s Renaissance synth pop, whatever you want to call it, look, a lot of it is in the kind of feeling of the 80s, get you kind of going. The sounds are there and stuff. But these guys actually write great tunes, in my opinion. So Drab Majesty, this one's called The Demonstration, and I just love that cover. It's super cool. And then this one is called Modern Mirror, and this is a double 45, and I guess that's how it was issued. So it's like 2 songs to a side. This is freaking cool stuff, man. If you're into the 80s and you want someone that sounds like that they're actually from the 80s, like they wrote good music but it was just recently discovered, check out Drab Majesty. To me, this is the most musical sort of, 80s Renaissance stuff out there, in my opinion. Really, really good, man. Track 3 on Modern Mirror. It's called Ellipsis. Dude, you're going to want to put it on repeat. It's so good. So this is a very, very, not only guilty pleasure, but just a really pleasant surprise on the Drab Majesty. And cool covers, too. That was a great one, too. So there we go. A little synth pop guilty pleasure for you. You want to kick us off on what are we doing? We got Holy Grails. Or should we make Jason go last? Come on, who wants to follow Jason on Holy Grails? We know he's going to come with massive heat.
I'm not showing any heat.
Come on!
It's just sort of things I really, really, consider Grails. They're not the most expensive, So,
all right,
just musically, amazing.
Well, Spins, I just want to say, I have a guilty pleasure buying habit when it comes to records. And that is, I can't stop buying box sets. It's a guilty pleasure.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
it's a problem. It's a problem. It's like, I need 8 discs of alternative versions and demos that I'm never going to listen to. I need it. I need to have it. It's a freaking problem. So that's my final guilty pleasure.
You don't have some visual aid. You're not going to show us the Beatles box or anything.
The whole wall of Calyx shelves is just filled with box sets, oversized bookends that I should be getting rid of, but I can't because it's my guilty pleasure.
All right.
So that's it.
There it is, folks. Box sets.
Confessions of a Vinyl Junkie.
That's a good one, though. Only box set I have. I have a couple, if you want to call them box sets, and one of them is a Grail, so I'm going to show it. All right, who should go first on this, Arnaldo? Should we make Jason go last? We know he's gonna.
I can go first.
Yeah, you go first. It's kind of like trying to follow the Beatles or something, on stage.
All right. Concert Buddy. I've shown this already before. He helped me get this. This is the Grail that I wanted. I've shown this on here before. I don't think it needs any further introduction. Maggot Brain, Funkadelic. On the West End original label.
Damn.
So very happy with this. And yeah, that's it. I don't want to say anything else. Whoever knows it, we've been promised a reissue for what, 3 years, but who knows if it's ever going to come, how it's going to sound. So for now,
you want to reveal the condition?
Oh, it's I would say border. Yes, the spine is a little worn, so I would say VG on the cover and VG plus on the record.
Ooh, nice one.
Yes.
Very nice, very respectable right there. Nice little Funkadelic.
Thank you, Concert Buddy, if he's still around. If it didn't abandon the chat.
Concert Buddy, where are you? All right, Jay. Oh no, wait, I'm making you go last. Okay, go ahead, Group C. Oh wait, do you have anything?
I mean, I don't know. I was going to show the whole Fish discography, but I didn't get a chance to pull them down, so I don't really have any Grails. I feel like my whole collection's a Grail. Everything I love, except box sets.
I thought Fish was going to be your guilty pleasure.
That's not a guilty pleasure.
Yes, sorry, Disco Devil. Yes, Westbound. Sorry, West End is the other label.
You better get it right, Arnaldo.
I know.
You're going to lose all credibility with anybody that likes music. Get it together.
Maybe we should
identify now, Arnaldo.
We should both identify what we mean by Grails and guilty pleasures. I find personally, a Grail is not necessarily something that costs a lot of money. It's something that you desire, that you've been chasing. And my next pick will also show you that it's not a very difficult record to come by, and it's not very expensive. And the guilty pleasure could be not necessarily demeaning, in my opinion, for the music, for the quality of the music, but maybe something you'd hate to admit that you have in your collection, either because it's common, either because it's, cheesy or whatever, as long as you like it. So Scissor Sisters for me it's great music, in my opinion. They're very well, they're good writers, singers, musicians, and producers and arrangers. So musically, I think it's valid, if we can use air quotes, as being legit. Oh, I didn't know it has confetti when I go like this. That's cool.
Yeah.
No, that's a great PA, dude. I'm glad you brought that up.
And it took me a while when that first came out on CD. I didn't buy that record because I kept on seeing the video, hearing it on the radio. It was so overplayed. I didn't buy the CD until like maybe 2 years after. And I realized like, this is a really good record. So, it's hard sometimes to admit that the most popular things are catchy and you like them.
Yep.
Yeah, mine's similar to like Arnaldo. My guilty pleasure, I just tried to think like, if my friends were over and I had this record on, would they be like, what the hell are you listening to? They wouldn't expect it. So that's kind of how I define guilty pleasure.
Right. It's not the first thing you go to when your friends come over or something, right? It's kind of like,
yeah,
what's this? Oh no, that's nothing. That's nothing. Just push that to the back.
or when I'm playing Lana Del Rey obnoxiously loud and my wife goes, really? You like her? And I go, yeah, I love her.
It goes on the guilty pleasure list.
Yeah. But it's not really, not embarrassing. It's not embarrassing music. It's not.
Yeah, and especially like Arnaldo said with the Grails, right? I shouldn't even say this. I don't usually like to, but early in my career on YouTube, someone sent me a message saying like, "You have no idea what a Grail is. That's not a Grail. Grails have to be universally accepted into the community as a Grail, and that's not on the list." And I was like, "Oh, come on, dude, give me a break. Go read the dictionary." But
Holy Grail means something to Christians, means nothing to Jews and Muslims.
Right.
So there you go.
Yep. Alex Dickey, here's the endorsement. I just listened to that track 3 from Drab Majesty. Thanks, Jason. Never heard of that band. Thank you. I'm glad you checked it out. There's the endorsement, guys. It is really good. All right. So now I'm lost. So you don't, okay. So let me go. It's my turn, I think. And then we'll let Jay go last. We got to let him go last. I'm not following Jay. Are we doing one at a time? How many do we have on, or should I show a couple?
I have two more.
Okay, good. Perfect. Okay, my first one will be, again, a grail to me. This is a record that I was trying to find a good pressing of. This, has the peelable banana. This is an early 70s Japanese pressing, which is pretty well regarded and can get pricey. And I think even more of a grail being that I didn't have to spend that much. I got it on eBay and no one really bid on it. It got a couple of bids, so I got to take this home for a good price, probably about half what it goes for on Discogs. And it sounds fine. It's hard to say this album sounds great just because there's it's just the recording is already distorted and everything. But for what it is, it actually is a very good pressing of it. And so it's nice and clean. It's Japanese wax, so it's quiet. There's no surface noise to speak of or anything, and the banana is still intact. So hey, the other copy of this I had was probably an 80s reissue with the flat cover, and stuff. So it was fine, but this one's kind of cool. So
can we see the back cover?
So it's on a black Verve label, and
No, did they replicate the torso?
No. Would have been cool if they did.
Yeah. The Japanese pressings are usually they're sticklers for reproducing the artwork identical to the original.
Right. Yeah, and they'll typically also go with the like a UK version. Like if a track listing is UK, like most of the Beatles stuff, they're going to go with the UK stuff. They're not going to follow like the Capitol stuff from the US. So as far as I know, I don't want to say it's universal, but they oftentimes do that. So I don't know. Did that that back cover get reproduced outside the US, Arnaldo? Do you know?
I don't know. Jason, that's a question.
Maybe that's why they got it like that.
The historian. I don't know if the UK version had the torso on the back.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, it's the only thing I could think of. All right. Let's let Jay go now. Let's see some fire, Jay.
So again, released in 1976. This is before before he became an audiophile. So again, you can take a joke, right? Okay. We'll go for the real thing, right? 1976, Ned Doheny. He released this record called Hard Candy. So this is I would say soft rock, soul, oh man, if you like Average White Band, this record goes deeper because he wrote a couple Average White Band songs, and this is not a hit. This sold poorly. He went away, he just didn't go anywhere. But on the other side of in Japan, this thing was huge. This guy is legendary, and I know he's about to get rained on here, but here's all right, there it is, right? He's all over him, I think when he was still on Geffen, Asylum Records, he played David Geffen "Get Up for Love," and Geffen's like, "Dude, that song sucks. You're dropped," from the label. He didn't realize how good he had, he just because over time this record just grew, So again, if you like that sort of soft rockish, yacht rockish soul, this is, man, it's hard candy.
Is that like Boz Scaggs? I'm not familiar with the record.
I say it's a sweeter than Boz Scaggs because Boz Scaggs got a more a deeper voice,
No, but I don't type of music.
Type of music, more like Average White Band.
Okay.
So if you're familiar with them, right, then this record.
Looking at the pieces, right?
Yes. He wrote that song. I think it's, oh my gosh, "A Love of Your Own." Do you know that song by Average White Band?
No, I don't.
It's one of their best songs. He wrote it,
Okay.
Very cool.
So see, I wasn't gonna embarrass anybody.
No, we want to see the heat, man. We want to see it.
Can you imagine these both came out in 1976?
What a country.
They both didn't go
time.
anywhere. Get it?
By the way, the views don't necessarily represent everyone on this panel. Michael Fremer, I love you. If you ever want to come on the channel, please hit me up. I just really quickly, I got to respond to Disco Devil because you're right, dude. He says, I hate those ones that have the, here, let me just blow myself up. These things super annoying, and it shouldn't be in here, but it came this way, so it stays for now. But I'm in the process of swapping these out because you're right, man. It's so annoying, dude. I hate it. They're annoying.
Wait,
I think I bought
Rojas.
one.
Oh, sorry, Jay. My bad.
Well, no, I was gonna say I made the mistake of actually buying some at one point, and like, so I probably have like 50 records, and it's just they're annoying. I gotta swap them out. But anyway, go ahead.
You're not a true member of the VC if you don't use those. That's the word in the street. So maybe you shouldn't throw them out. But Rojas, you should see who produced that Net album.
Oh, this one? Oh, yeah, of course. It's Steve Cropper. That's
unbelievable. Right. I just took it. That's so cool.
So Steve Cropper from Booker T and the MGs, like he moved on from his performing days and produced this wonderful record, you know?
And remarkably, his career didn't end after that. He still kept going. So
yes, I think that next record's also very popular too. I think unfortunately, was only released in Japan, I believe.
Wow.
Chuck D says, Chuck T, sealable flaps is greater than dust. Yeah, it's a preference thing. That's what I thought too, but the extra like 5 seconds to try to break in and out, it's just kind of annoying. But you're right, they do keep the dust out. All right, second guilty pleasure. Arnoldo, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. Guilty pleasure. No, we did guilty pleasure. We're on the Grails.
Grail, yes.
They're confusing me. It's not very difficult to find, especially if you're in the UK. There are probably plenty. But in the US, it's hard to come by a UK pressing of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And it sounds so much better than the US pressing, which is horrible. Apart from the 2 copies that I had that were on noisy vinyl, it's just night and day between the UK pressing and the US pressing on MCA. So this one is on the Dick James label. And yeah, it's not an expensive record. As you can see, I didn't pay a lot for it. It's probably even half the price in the UK. And it comes on that like brownish, purplish, semi-transparent. I don't know, maybe it was audiophile at the time, but probably one of Elton John's best albums. And yeah, if you want to hear it in its full glory, I think the UK pressing rules.
Nice. Good tip.
Nice.
And the reason why it's a grail for me, because I chased it for probably a very long time because I never came across the UK pressing of it. So
how did you end up snagging it? Sorry if you already said it.
Stranded. It's a record store in the city.
Okay.
In Manhattan, yeah.
Nice. Noise. All right. Are you Groove Seeker? Are you out on this one or?
Yeah, I just have my Desert Island discs. Yeah, I misinterpreted definition of Grail, and I was a little bashful. I thought we were going for like heavy hitters. I don't want to show all my reissues, you know.
You can show your reissues. I'm okay with
I'm doing. I got one reissue. I got a reissue right here. A second version of Out to Lunch, Eric Dolphy. You know, a semi-pricey record, but again, it doesn't have much to do with the price either on this one for me. I mean, I love that it's early. I think the 66. I think this album came out in 64. I should know because I did a review on it. And I think this is a 66 pressing. It is after they moved from Plastilite. They had just moved everything over to, the West Coast. And so, no, it's not a Plastilite, with the P on it and stuff. But it sounds fantastic. It sounds 60s. You know what I mean? It sounds like jazz wax that you're going to get early stuff before they started adding the bass to the reissues and stuff like that. So it's cool. I love this record. So it's really fun to have, something early like that. I don't have a lot of early jazz, to be honest with you. And it's even got some writing on there from 1970. So because, if you were holding it the other way, you wouldn't know that this was Out to Lunch, Eric Dolphy. So you got to know either when you're looking at the front or the back. But anyway, really cool. I love it. Out to Lunch, my favorite jazz album. Maybe one day I'll get the OG. I don't know. But for now, the second version is good enough for me. All right. I think you're up, Jay.
All right. I'm a teenager of the 90s. I love 90s music. I can't help it. When this record came out in 1995, it deserved all the accolades. They deserved all the success. This is the Jayhawks, Tomorrow the Green Grass.
Hell yeah.
So this is alternative country. Mark Olson, Gary Loris, these dudes know how to sing and write songs, like in the style of like Flying Burrito Brothers, Everly Brothers. You know, this is, what can I say? Like, this is like Americana music right here. You know, and they had that hit with Blue, which played nonstop on VH1 forever. I think it was on Crossroads, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you remember that VH1 show, guess not. But man, I missed the tour. I only saw them after this album, and Mark Olson quit, so that sucked. But
it's a great album.
Yes. You guys familiar with Blue? Do you remember that song?
Oh, yeah, I have that, but I think I have a American Records reissue, like came out a few years ago. Is that the OG?
Yep.
Yeah.
We can get.
Are you talking about I'm Blue, da boo dee da boo da? That song?
No, not that.
No.
Oh, okay.
You know, Rojas, they don't get enough credit. Like everybody gives the torch to like Wilco and Whiskey Town, and then Ryan Adams, but like the Jayhawks were doing it way before those guys were, and Sunville was, you know?
Right. And this was on
Such
America, right? So like they have the same producer as the Black Crowes, right? That guy.
Yep.
Draculius?
Yes. He produced this record. So, man.
What was their other big hit? Sun on that? Is it on that? Is Waiting for the Sun on that album? No, it's not. Waiting for the Sun's on the next one.
No, it's the one before it.
Yeah, one before it. Right.
And I don't have that anymore. I sold it. Damn.
Oh, dang.
But I love this
great.
record. There's a song on here called Red Song. If you don't know that, I would totally recommend that. Like, honestly, like, man.
Yep.
I will actually, you know what? I'm going to go look up the video on YouTube where they play at this German beer house, and I'm going to put it in the chat because it's phenomenal,
there you go.
That version.
You'd get some love. University of Vinyl saw Jayhawks in 2012. Mark Boyd, Hollywood Town Hall saw that tour. So yeah, some Jayhawks fans in the house.
See, I'm not showing any I mean, this is an expensive record. I'm not going to lie here. You know, the original. Like it's well deserved too, you know, because nobody really talks about them anymore.
No.
Is it expensive even for a 90s record, or is it just
yes?
Okay,
it's on par. It's on par.
Cool. The Jayhawks. I'm gonna have to look it up. I don't know. All right, Mr.
I like sorry, real quick. I like Mark Boyd's comment. The Jayhawks Uncle Tupelo debate was fierce, and I don't know if that debate ever died down. That's like East Coast, West Coast of Americana. Sorry, Ronaldo.
Anything else, Ronaldo? You got?
Yeah, I am going to show two records that I do not have, but I have, and they're Grails. If I could only get the original copies of them. And it wouldn't be a surface noise stream, if I didn't show a Smiths record, right? So this is the most sought after Smiths record.
Whoa.
Only because the record cover is reversed. It's on the negative side. It was a mistake, and only 30 copies left the plant because it was supposed to look like this. Which is
no way.
And they printed it in reverse. But this is not the original. This is the reissue or reproduction they included in the box set that came out in 2009. And this recently went for auction on Amiga, the auction website. And you can look it up yourself how much this goes for. Rockaway Records has a copy that they don't take out of the vault. When they go to WFMU or the fairs, they just bring a printout that's laminated. They don't even show you the record that they're asking something like $6,000 for. But yeah, it doesn't have anything. It's nothing else but a piece of paper, basically, because the record doesn't include any special music. It's just a misprint of the cover. And a lesser grail.
What's the title on that? Did I miss
Hand
it?
in Glove. This is This is their first single that when it was reissued, it wasn't even a mistake the first time it was pressed. It was a mistake probably when they reissued it years later. I don't even know what number of reissue it was, that they made a mistake in the color matching or whatever. They just printed it in reverse. And then the other Smith's Grail, much less expensive, but still very expensive, of which I have a reproduction, is a French release of There Is a Light That Never Goes Out. Also very sought after. It's the boy with the popsicle. And yeah, that's it. Those are my grails, like for real grails. Because as you know, I try to complete my Smith's collection, and they may be very elusive to get. Maybe the second one is probably much easier to get. The first one, unless I win the lottery, I can never see myself spending anywhere more than $100 for it.
Are those bootlegged a lot, Arnaldo? Like the Nirvana ones are?
No, they're not. They're not. This one, these two came out, and they're pretty popular because they were reissued in the box set, and I think maybe a few had maybe this one had a standalone reissue, but no, they're not like Love Buzz. They're not bootlegged, because the consensus on this is only 30 people own this. So if you start seeing around a lot, you know it's not the real thing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And they'd have to, like, the record itself also has to be like this. Maybe, I don't know. This is probably easier to make than the Punch Out one, but the original was, I believe, a Punch Out. The original Hand in Glove. The original issue of this, I'm not sure if it was a Punch Out, honestly. I think it wasn't. But yeah, no, it's not bootlegged, because it's not like it had a run of 1,000. I think you can count the people in the world that have it. There's probably someone has a list.
Well, I was going to say, you said there was 30 pressed, or 30 people it's accounted for.
There was a run that was pressed. They were all destroyed except for allegedly 30 of them.
So probably there's less than 30.
That people snatched at the plant and held on to as just a curiosity. Oh, look, they made a mistake on this one. Little did you know that it was to become probably one of the most sought after Smith's records.
So how do you those reissues? Did you say that came in another box set or something?
It came in the complete box set that came out in 2009. They reproduced it.
Okay.
And I don't even think they reproduced it perfectly, because it's a little darker than what it should be. But yeah,
maybe they're trying to avoid confusion and people like trying to,
Yeah, I mean, if I ever saw this, I could tell immediately this is not the original, just by looking at it. Because I've seen pictures of the original. I've never seen it in person. I think, Jason, did you see it at Austin when Jose came? Because Jose saw it and had a picture of it. And he messaged me. I was like, no way I'm going to buy that. I would love it, but.
No, I missed it. I didn't know he saw it. That's interesting.
Yeah, and when that same dealer came to WFMU last year, he didn't bring it. He just brought the laminated copy. When I asked him, I was like, do you have this so that I can see it? And he was like, no, it's in the vault in LA. Okay. As if you're going to sell a $6,000 record to someone at a fair without them not even being able to see it.
Right. You got to trust that the condition is what they say it is.
Yeah. But I've never seen one in person. Maybe this year at WFMU, that dealer will actually bring it, but I've never seen one.
Wow. That's cool. I did not know that. So yeah, we got to figure out how to get Arnaldo one of those.
Yeah. We'll do a GoFundMe.
Yeah, we'll GoFundMe for Arnaldo, in dire need of the Smith single.
But I think it would be a crime to spend, the amount of money they're asking. It would be a crime to spend that kind of money just for an album cover, right? Like the Zeppelin turquoise. Who's going to spend $3,000 for it?
Jason?
I did not spend 3,000. I've seen it. Right?
Of course
it
not. It was a dollar
right?
bin record for Jay.
It was in a dollar bin. I paid like I think 200 for my copy.
It's still a steal.
Yeah.
Yes.
But of course, Jay, it's not the best version, right?
No, it's not the best version. So
we'll just tease that. We'll bring it up another day. You got to watch all these episodes because you get little nuggets here and there. All right. So for me, okay, that was your third one, right, Arnaldo? 3 of 3. Okay, this is my 3 of 3, and then we'll let Jay drop the mic on this, and then we'll call the stream proper, and we'll take off on another topic. For me, thank you to the Groove Seeker for hooking me up with this. We did a little trade, and this is a grail for me, man. This is Cornell 77, Grateful Dead. If you're a Deadhead, you know all about this show. Is it overhyped? I don't know, man. I used to have the tape of this back in the day, and without even knowing, there was one of my favorite tapes. Man, that's so cool. Never knew it was Cornell 77 or anything like that. And then I heard Cornell 77 at some later date and said, hey, that's that tape I used to have, but I never had it on vinyl or anything. These got pricey. They got snatched up and stuff, but Groove Seeker had one he was willing to let go of. So now I have the Cornell 77 Grateful Dead box set in my hot little hands, and I consider this a grail in my collection. So I love it, man. Every now and then I take it down and play a side or two off it, Groove Seeker. So thank you so much.
Yeah, that's why I don't have any grails. I just give them away to everybody.
Well, I wouldn't say you gave it away, but maybe.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. Yeah, that was a fun.
Yeah, that was fun. We made it. You made it happen, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was just collecting dust on my shelf. So what the hell's the point of that?
All right, Jay.
All right, released in 1990. I think that's the start of Britpop. And there's only one band that could do this, way before Oasis, way before Suede, and that's
Pulp.
The Laws.
I thought you were going to pull out Pulp.
Okay, Lee Mavers, that guy, the singer, guitar player, that guy's a total genius. Like there are like how do I say this? All the songs on this damn record are fantastic. Yet he wrote more songs that are not on this damn record, And there's a song called Fishing Net. I suggest anyone look that up. Man, that song could have been a hit. Like better than There She Goes, their best well-known song, right? What can I say? Like this thing, you keep on playing it like over and over. And man, that's why it's a grail. I think it is going for a lot more money these days, like the Go Discs version. But I don't care. Like you can get the reissue. Like I even recommend getting the BBC sessions. Like that's also a good place to start with The Laws. So, man, you thought I was going to show The Cult. I almost...
No, Pulp. I thought you were going to show Pulp.
No. I went to see them live. They're amazing.
They're Britpop before Oasis and Blur.
He's a better writer anyway.
Oh, for sure. In terms of
this
lyrics.
Love that cover. That's cool. I'm going to have to check that out too.
I think I had the deluxe CD version of that. Is there a deluxe CD version of that?
Yes, don't even bring that up. People have been asking why hasn't that been reissued on like vinyl? Like it's a mystery. Like they recorded the record, I think, 5 times, and Lee Mavers was like, no. And then when they had it with Stephen Lillywhite, who did U2 and a couple other bands,
and Fish,
SDC, I think. Oh, he did Fish? Really?
Oh,
Billy
really?
Breeds. Billy Breeds.
Oh, jeez. Steve, the story goes, Steve Lillywhite had like I guess like a packet that said how to deal with Lee Mavers. Like if he's out of control, then you say this, or if he thinks you want to hear this, just agree with him. And Lee Mavers, he saw that thing and he's like, forget it, we're scrapping the record. Like what? Any
relation to Jim Neighbors on that, Jay? The great Jim Neighbors?
Lee Mavers.
Oh, okay, I got you. So, okay, my bad.
One day I'll tell my story of my conversation with Steve Lillywhite.
About this record?
No.
Okay.
When I ran into him, he was A&R for a brief period of time at Sony, and I ran into him in the cafeteria. And I struck up a conversation with him. That'll be for another stream. Maybe we should do a stream on producers.
Yes.
There you go.
Do that.
Good idea.
Boom. I love it.
That would be hella fun.
Can we get a producer on here as well?
Well, I don't know. Jason told you I'm producing Jason's psych folk record that's coming out next year. We're working on the early. So you have one.
The record's going to be called Row, Row Your Boat. There you go.
From the great psychedelic horse doo-doo.
Yes.
All right. Are we done? Did we go around? Everyone went, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, we've been an hour. So for the podcast proper, for listeners out there, we're going to cut this off right now. We're going to bid you adieu and thank you all for listening and watching. If you are here watching in person right now as we speak, do not go anywhere, because not only do we have more fun topics, we have a game, and I'm going to share the link, and you're going to try to get on the leaderboard right at the very top. It'll be kind of fun. So that's going to be very soon. That's going to be Holy Grail versus Guilty Pleasures edition on that one. So let me give Concert Buddy a little visual aid so he knows where to cut us off. There we go. So another topic that came up was reissues, I think, Jay, right? I called it the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think you said, I'm going to let you kick this one off too. Do you remember that?
Yes, like I kind of, I didn't know we were going to talk about this one, but I wanted to go get that reissue that's sitting over there.
Go get it.
Can I go get it?
Of course. Let me drop the new banner. Reissues the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Now I'm going to make a comparison video about this. I'm excited that Sam Records reissued this. This is Jazz by Sunrise, I think, 59?
Is that the reissue?
Yes. So
nice.
I got it yesterday. And I'm glad they reissued this. I mean, it's hard to get an OG if you're going to try to hunt for this, you know? Like, I get it. Like, it's just impossible to go just hunting for something like
OG Sun Ra is just
this bad boy, you know? I mean, this thing's going for like over $1,000, I think, you know?
And that wasn't even one of his holy grails, folks.
Correct. Correct, you know? But this, should I say it, Groove Seeker? Should I just go at it?
I think you should. Give the people what they want.
This is cut by Kevin Gray, and it doesn't sound very good. It sounds very muffled. While this original actually has a bit more high end, and I'm putting the finishing touches on the video. So the thing about reissues, like, I'm glad they reissued this, you know, because this is too hard to find, you know?
Yeah.
And if this is successful, right, this will lead Sam Records to reissue more cool things, you know? So, I mean, I guess in my opinion, like, it's a very catch-22, right? I want them to do more, but maybe I want them to do better, you know? Or, you know, maybe it's not Kevin Gray's fault. Maybe the tape is really that bad, you know? And I'm sure you're going to hear it, you know, when
Was it cut from a tape or from a digital file?
From a tape, they said.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, Sam's all analog.
Does anyone know those Sun Ra tapes? I would imagine they can't be in great condition, right?
Who knows, right? I mean, this came from the Transition label, which was Tom Wilson. And Tom Wilson, when that label folded, he moved on to producing like Bob Dylan, right? Velvet Underground, Frank Zappa, you see, like he already had a storied career. Like this was just in the distant past, you know?
Yeah.
I heard the problem with the Ra tapes is that Sun Ra actually colored on them in marker once they were mastered. Is that true? I'm kidding.
No, Marshall Allen was
raspberry.
the one who did it, right? Jeez.
Well, I know it's apples to oranges, but when they did, you know, these are the singles, right? These basically Sun Ra recorded in his home studio, and they took them straight from the 45s, and they had to go all around the world to like find all of these, and then they put out this beautiful series, Sun Ra, the singles. But I don't know. Seems to me like his stuff. I'm guessing he wasn't in the biggest studios with the, you know, the best engineers where they were taking great care of these tapes and stuff like that. You know, especially his early stuff. I don't know for sure. Just curious.
So I'm confused. So Sun Ra didn't put the tapes in a pyramid or a spaceship?
Or maybe that's where all the good tapes are, the originals.
Right.
That's what Area 51 is. Area 51 is the complete Sun Ra reel-to-reel storage. Rojas, how's the packaging on Sam's? Because I buy a lot of Sam's stuff, and I think the jackets are really nice.
Actually, the packaging is phenomenal. The fact that they give you the pamphlet that originally came with the record is great. Like, they did the work, all the work for the packaging, the cover, to get it great.
Is it that you think they boosted the bottom end? And you don't have to give away if you're I know you're doing a video on it, but do you think that kind of spoils some of that top end?
Well, I think like some people may say the original is just too much high end. Maybe like it's too much, it's too bright. Like they are the Goldilocks of the VC or something. But I mean, I think you need that. What is a horn supposed to sound like? It's supposed to sound very shrill.
As long as it's not distorted.
Right. You're getting that frequency in the higher frequencies. If you like sort of put a blanket on that, that's, I guess you're ruining the intent of this record, like it's supposed to take you to Brainville, like, but we'll get the video out there, shake up, the audio.
Shake up the
world.
VC.
Right. Because I think they only pressed like 300 of these, I think, right?
Yeah, it's Artisan Series. And they're doing volume 2 also, right?
Yes. But I think volume 2, that's not necessarily like a real record. That was sort of like leftovers or outtakes from the session. And then I don't think it was ever planned to be released, right? In my opinion. So when he sold off, I think Tom Wilson sold off the tapes to Delmark, I think. Delmark, they just put out the record, I'm not sure if Sun Ra's like, yeah, do it. I don't think so.
Orange Margin says they pressed 500 of those.
Oh, 500. Yeah, I have what do I have? The Bird one? I think the Bird is only 300. But 500, it's still really low for a Sun Ra release. I'm sure they could have did 1,000 easily.
Of course. Yeah, they could have. But
Felipe says there were sessions in more than one day. It was recorded at the best studio in Chicago. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you, Felipe.
Mark Boyd is asking about the other Sun Ra record on my wall, the Batman and Robin record. Now, that's a special record, right? Because
I'm gonna unmask the Batman. I love Sun Ra.
This is also a Sun Ra record with the members of the Blues Project, like Al Cooper's group. So they cover a bunch of pop stuff on here. I mean, very like pop sort of stuff, verging that, but also like some strange jazz. It's a very mischievous record. Like I almost didn't buy this because it's in stereo, and then I played it, and I'm like, holy crap, this sounds fantastic. Like recorded, and I read up, recorded in true stereo, fantastic. So you could probably get this if people are not really looking it up. Like they sold it at my local for 15. I was like, yeah, I'll buy this, of course,
Hell yeah. I know this was kind of impromptu, Jay. I mean, how do you want to approach this? I mean, do you have something else you want to show or talk about, or does anyone else want to jump in on this? Good, bad, and ugly of reissues.
Well, I like what
Dog ate my homework.
Yeah, I didn't know we were doing this one, but we've all talked about this in like a lot of conversations off stream and stuff. And I like what Jay's saying is that it's important that Sam does this, and it does it as best as it can as a label, because that'll lead to more of this coming back out. Those records aren't accessible in great condition, and if you find them, they're an arm and a leg. The debate on the mastering and all that stuff, that's always going to be a never-ending discussion, because 5 years from now, this is going to get reissued by somebody else with a different mastering engineer, and there's going to be a debate on it. So as long as they're accessible to people, especially with the jazz thing, because it's the only thing, I think it's what's really kept the genre alive is the influx of reissues into the vinyl or audiophile or both communities. Otherwise, new people getting introduced to the genre would probably be pretty slim going forward.
Yeah, they'd be buying Meatloaf reissues, Bad Out of
Right.
Hell.
That's right.
Or Bad Out of Hell 3.
Guilty pleasure.
There is...
Felipe, do you have the reissue? If you're still there, I'm curious to know what you think of that Sun Ra Volume 1, if you have it. And we'll let you and Jason duke it out. Yeah, I mean, Groove Seeker, you specialize in reissues, right? I mean, it's fair to say. I mean, what are your thoughts outside of the quality control stuff? I mean, what do you think? I mean, is there anyone that you could point out as being better than others in terms of pressing plant or distributor or anything like that?
Wow. I love when Chris Bellman cuts a rock record. He's like, everybody talks about like Kevin Gray and Bernie, and I think Ryan K. Smith's making a lot of noise, but like all the stuff that Bellman's done on the Neil Young catalog, he does the fish cuts. Trying to think what else he's done that I like, but I feel like he's kind of overlooked a little bit, or maybe he was more popular a few years ago and people kind of forgot about him. But that's like my favorite mastering engineer on these reissues, and I just think that they're important outside of the QC issues that I've been bitching about the past year and a half. I think they're important for people to have access, to these great records that are clean and quiet and aren't going to break the bank. Jason and I think Arnaldo, to a certain extent, were fortunate to maybe buy stuff at a different time before the resurgence really took off, and they probably got really good value out of those. But, those records now have probably doubled or tripled in price in some cases. And like going back to the WFMU experience, I know we're going to be out there in the fall, and I'm excited about it, but it was overwhelming. Like you really had to find deals, and everybody's kind of looking for the same thing as far as what's popular and what's a quote unquote grail, right? Like what the general consensus on a grail is. So I hope that they reissue, grail titles with high quality packaging and all analog and cut with care, because it'll just keep this thing going in the right way. And I think we're at a point too where like the reissue game is kind of even taking a dip, not only plateau, but taking a dip where people don't have to pay astronomical prices unless it's super limited. So I hope that, that just becomes a standard going forward. That's my take on it. I would have, if I sought out OGs and, desirable pressings, I would just have way less records. So the reissue thing has been really convenient for me to get all the music that I love and get, 85 or 90% of the way there. And I'm okay with that right now, That's just kind of my take on it.
I just want to counter that. I hope they release like Warped records so I can hear two guys on this panel keep complaining about them forever and ever, and keep showing them, man.
Keep sending me videos. By the way, my phone is almost full now, man. I got to start deciding what I'm going to delete, but I know I can't delete those videos. That
I want to say to Arnaldo, don't worry. We're done with VMP. We're not subscribed to him. So those days, are over. You should be celebrating,
Well, at the risk of asking people to, be mastering engineers, is it, and Jay, you do a lot of these shootouts and stuff like that, and I'm sure we all have some experience. Like, I have the Eric Dolphy shootout that I did. I have a second press, and I also did the Classic Series and the Music Matters 45 RPM. We know they add a lot of bottom end to these things now. I'm assuming that's happening. That's not a result of the tape, or I guess it's part of the discussion. Like, I'm going to ask the question in a way, I don't have an answer, but I mean, there are variables that are possible, right? It could be the tape. It could be the mastering engineers moving the, upping the lower frequencies and that kind of thing. And when that happens, is that a good way to kind of obscure those higher frequencies so that when we hear these things back in a modern reissue and we're saying the original has better high end and this one has more bass, is that what we're hearing, Jay? Is it just that the bottom end is just popularly getting boosts now in the 2020s and that's how we're losing some of that top end?
It could be like a phase, people, I think people love Japanese pressings because of their smooth sound, right? And that was very popular at its time. Now looking back, like those aren't necessarily like high praised, as much, right? I think we'll look back at this time when people were trying to boost the mid-range and the bass as sort of, this audiophile sound, as a phase,
Okay.
That's how I look at it.
Like the loudness wars and that kind of thing. So
similar, yes.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts on that, Arnaldo?
I'm sorry, on what specifically?
Well, so like it just seems like a lot of these reissues, the bottom end gets boosted, right? They're trying to add bass back, but maybe there wasn't as much on a lot of these early pressings. And some of the complaint is that we don't get that top end. I'm just wondering if you think that we get that top end gets obscured a little bit because we're kind of playing.
Maybe I don't know. I don't think it's in. Maybe sometimes it is intentional. Maybe it's just some mastering engineers. That's the sound of their equipment. I don't know. Yeah, in some cases it does sound boosted. Sometimes they have admitted to doing that, to coloring the music a little bit if it sounded a little flat and anemic. But I agree with everyone here that records that are hard to find or hard to find in good condition, as long as they get a reissue, I think everyone wins, right?
Yeah.
Right. We have access to the music at least.
That's what I think, right? Are they really bad that they're unlistenable? I can't say. I haven't heard the Jellyfish records, which several people have complained about, that they were really not well done. But maybe at the beginning of the vinyl resurgence, some of those Back to Black series that UMG was doing, maybe some of those were rushed and not really, they didn't put a lot of thought into them. I haven't bought any Wax Time records, or what's that other label that does them straight from CD. They're CD on vinyl, basically. But I think for the most part, as long as the music is available, there's various degrees that people want to enjoy it. So there's people that just want the record because it's the thing now to play records. So
if it sounds different from the original, you're always going to have some contingency of people that are going to say it sounds worse because it doesn't sound like the original, and their definition will be it's worse.
And we can have a 2-hour stream on, is the original the way the artist really wanted it? Did the artist really get test pressings and approve it before it went to the plant? We're talking 1960s and 1970s when that stuff didn't exist. Like the test pressing that goes to the artist. Sometimes they weren't even
there for the mastering.
They weren't there for sure for the mastering. They weren't, but some didn't even hang around for the mixing. Even the Beatles, the first couple records.
Yeah.
We let George Martin do it.
Devil's advocate, Lee Mavers.
Right. And then you have the ones that are really,
he said, don't buy this record.
They were really hands-on, and they wanted to curate in every aspect of their music, starting from, the recording to the mixing. Michael Jackson is known to have sat in on mastering sessions with Bernie Grundman after starting with Bad, right? So yeah, you have a lot of people that have approached it differently.
Especially if you're disappointed with the end result. Like you go in there, you record this thing, you have a certain thing in your head, and then it comes. You're not there for the mastering, and then you hear the end result, and you're like, "What the hell happened?" Even to the extent where they're like adding whole string arrangements and stuff like that to your records, right? Famously.
Well, there probably have been cases where the artist afterwards got a copy of the record and was not happy with how it sounded.
I'm sure that happened probably more times than.
I think there's other things to debate here too. Like reissues didn't start happening 5 years ago. Like you have reissues, record comes out in 1968, it gets reissued in 72, 76, 83, 90, 89. So I just don't think, I think the problem that people get caught up in this debate is that I'm sure in 1989 when they reissued Yellow Brick Road that people were curious to get the reissue and like collect the record and do the compare, but I don't think there was this viral presence of forums and YouTube and people being like, it's just like, oh, the reissue, this doesn't sound as good. And I told the story the other night on Jason's interview where it's like I bought my dad an Elvis box and my dad's not an audiophile, and he's like, this sounds like shit. This doesn't sound like the record. So it's like this always happens. And I think the other factor in this is an equipment thing, and from two perspectives. Everybody that's coming into this vinyl world in their teens or 20s or even early 30s, they grew up in a bass heavy earbud environment where it's like if your headphones didn't rattle or you didn't have a bass boost in your output, like you just didn't sound good to you.
Well, how are you going to get those breakdancing tapes to sound good on a boom box unless you cranked up the bass, right?
Well, yeah, but even like, you know, like my daughter is an anomaly. Like she has a stereo in her room with speakers, but like most of her music, she like walks around the house with it playing from her iPhone or in her bud. So like that sound, it's a, you know, I think like sound's part of a genetic evolution or human evolution too. Like people hear sounds differently over time. And we always talk about reference points. If you grew up on a certain pressing or a certain, you know, fidelity level, that's what you remember. That's what makes that connection for you in the synapses, right? So like that's how you hear it. The other thing too is like you're talking about the tape getting processed by an engineer. They're cutting it. They're using their equipment, but then all four of us have completely different setups. So I'm positive one day when Arnaldo comes up to have dinner with me in upstate New York, he's gonna bring his favorite records and he's gonna play them on my turntable and he's gonna be like, that sounds different. And when I hear stuff on his table, I'm gonna be like, that sounds different. But it's still the same pressing. So there's so many factors. So when we get into this debate of like this sounds better, unless you're getting everybody's specific setup in the specific room you're in, then you really can't make a determination. That's why I have admiration for Jason, because he's the only one that I see that does the A/B. Regardless of what equipment he uses, what situation it is, he's giving the listener an opportunity to go back and forth, right? Most people are saying like, I listened to these 7 pressings on this equipment, and you're like, but you didn't do it side by side. There's going to be like a forgetting curve to what you heard before, and now you're listening to next, and you're probably biased. So there's just too many factors. So that's why like some reissues sound like crap, maybe because the record sounds like crap. Maybe the person did a bad job. I don't know. But like, it doesn't mean they should stop making reissues. They should just put more care and effort into putting a higher quality product out. And I think, you know, I'm agreeing with Arnaldo and both Jason's earlier comments. Like, this is important for it to happen. Otherwise the music doesn't keep going, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to bring up Patrick's comment from earlier. The bass was always on the tape. Systems now can handle it as opposed to back in the day. They shaved it, a la Robert Ludwig, Zep 2 being too hot for the system and that era. Yeah. Patrick, I'd be interested to know what you know about, because I've looked some of this stuff up. You know, I've spent a little bit of time, you know, looking at, you know, we're all curious about how these records get made and why some tapes are different and stuff. Is from what I've read, some tapes are EQ'd and some aren't. So they end up being EQ'd, and then that tape that exists is pre-EQ'd in a way, right? So you don't have to go back and try to EQ it and match what there was before. So if you're still here, Patrick, maybe you have a comment on that. See a ton of comments. I appreciate everybody.
Well, another way to look at it too. Sorry, one other quick thing. Like, if I'm in the car, I don't not listen to music because it's not on vinyl, and digital over Bluetooth sounds completely different than on vinyl.
Yeah, but we talked about this before, right? Your ears are going to hear, you know, the dollar signs. So if you spent $200 on something, you're going to be way more critical than if you're just listening to it in the car.
That's the thing, and that's where, like, when art becomes a commodity, the lines get blurred. So there's justification by the manufacturer to say this is the best thing ever, and then it's justification by the vendors of those records to put out a review that says it's the best thing ever, or if you get a promo of it, and then there's justification by us on either side to like hate on it or love it because maybe we bought it or maybe we're not interested, or maybe we bought it and loved it, or bought it and hated it. So there's just so many factors to pile on to say, they're doing a bad job. I don't know.
I'll just play devil's advocate. Just buy the freshest one, buy the reissues, just buy them so then the OGs can go up in price.
Well, what I was going to ask Arnaldo, I don't even know if you want to answer this, but when we had our Doors discussion, we know what Jason thinks about it, the Doors box. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about, did you ever crack yours? Or?
Oh, yeah, I cracked it open. And I think on another chat, I expressed my opinion that I really enjoy them.
Okay.
I don't have originals to compare to. I did compare to my AP 45s. And I have to say, apart from LA Woman, where it's noticeable that it's, to me, that it sounds better than the one from the Rhino box set by, I don't want to say by a little bit, but the others are very close to what's on the AP. I don't know if I'll be playing the double 45, considering my disenchantment with double 45s lately. So I think when I want to listen to a Doors record, I'll pull out the ones from the box set. I really enjoyed them. I think maybe someone will send me an original so that I can compare with my own ears. I have looked around for good condition Doors first album because I would like to have an original, but I never seem to find one that's in. The very first one is the red label, correct?
Tan.
Oh, the tan label? Oh man, I just passed one then, and I put it back in the bin because I thought the red label was the first.
That's like a repress, like a second.
Oh man. Okay. So
Don't worry, I'll be in New York at the end of the month. We can do
cool.
Doors excursion.
The tan label. I didn't know that. Sorry. I know for sure the butterfly is a very later repress.
That's the one I have. I was curious to see which one I had. I have the butterfly, so that's a Japanese pressing too.
Here's my other question for you guys.
Well, sorry, I just want to comment on what Arnaldo said. Really, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Yeah. But in a way, this is kind of a mic drop, but I want to let you get your last comment in too before we start this game up, guys. The link is in the chat. Is that the biggest variable? You said a mouthful. They sound fine. They sound good to you. You don't have the OGs. How many times do we convince ourselves something doesn't sound good because we compare it to the OG and it's going to sound different and we're like, oh, this actually sucks. But when you hear it in a vacuum, it's fine.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm sorry, Group Seeker. I just wanted to mention that.
No, this could lead to another 4 hours, but aren't all records an audiophile medium? That's my first question. And the second question, we don't have to answer, just ponder it. Is the Doors catalog really an audiophile catalog? Maybe one of the records is deemed an audiophile album, like historically? Or
now I want you to brag about Peace Frog being the best audiophile Doors track ever. You see my head shaking here?
Sorry, guys. I just realized I need to post as myself and Concert Buddy. Now everyone should see that link. Thanks, Concert Buddy. Oh, yeah. That's me. Yeah, so otherwise, I think it was just going on my channel. Sorry, guys. So let me know. Everyone should see that now.
So I don't know. That's just we're like, everything's like audiophile reissue. Like everything's an audiophile reissue, but like some music's not. The Weezer Blue Album's not an audiophile record. It's just a good rock record. So
well, that's a whole nother discussion. We should do a show on this. Is why is there a difference? Like, why are we saying audio? Are we saying audiophiles the only pressings that get it right? Like, are we saying we're saying, in other words, guys, come buy my audiophile 45 RPM for $600 because everything else is crap. It's like, well, why is everything else crap? Like, why can't we just get a good pressing and not call it audiophile? You know what I mean? That's just my opinion.
Marketing.
So if we do it right, we're just going to say, oh, this one actually sounds right. So guess what? It's $200 because it's audiophile.
Just wait for the audiophile version of Psychedelic Horseshit, half speed mastered, 180 gram vinyl.
One step.
That's right.
Warped.
That's right.
How many times do we get to return it, Jay, before you're done?
I'm gonna oversee the QC on it wherever the plant is when they reissue it. I'm the guy. I'm gonna have velvet gloves on.
No returns until I see that video that it's warped or whatever. I need a magnifying glass of the non-fill, right? Jeez.
And a level on your turntable, because it might just be the
right.
person's turntable.
That's right.
That's funny. All right, guys, I'm dropping the link for the game, so you won't see anything yet, but you should be able to get queued up. So including our panel, click on that link, guys. I'll drop it in private too. Sometimes panelists have an issue clicking on it when it's not in the private chat. So there it is as well.
So are we also playing the speed game? Like the first one to click gets more points?
Yeah.
Because I missed out last time.
That's the way we always play it.
I never played it like that. I thought the answer was only for poll purposes.
No. Okay. So part of how
your interview. I watched Arnaldo's interview, and I have something to say. You know, every time you play this game the first time, like Jason sandbags everybody. Doesn't tell you that. He's like, "Oh, you got it." So
right?
No, it's not true.
I was going to call you in the middle of the interview and be like, "This guy's, is really sandbagging you," but it was too late. You were 5 questions in. I'm like, "There's no hope now." I'm sorry, man.
It is true. If you start to score too high, I start to tell you to slow down because I want our viewers to get up there. Okay, guys. So here's how it's scored. We're going to play a little game. This is a little. Would you rather? You have 2 choices. The questions are there. 2 ways to get to score, Arnaldo. One is be on the right side. You want to vote with the majority. So, I mean, you're going to put what you think, obviously, but the majority gets you extra points, and then you act fast. So speed matters. Speed matters. So those are the 2 ways you get scored, and you will end up somewhere on this leaderboard. So here we go. Let me get this.
Where do I play? Refresh my memory. Where do the panelists play?
You use the same link.
Oh, I use the same link? Okay.
Yeah, this link I just shared. You'll start to see something as I get this queued up, and then I will share the screen. Okay, I can see people popping in. There's the group seeker. Yeah, you guys should be able to pop in now. So click that link, guys. The chat. Again, I should have said this earlier, but I try to remind people that this is easier if you have a couple different screens, or you're not on your phone trying to like swipe back and forth between a browser and YouTube and all that stuff. So yes, a lot of people coming in. Tap Records, Deshaun, Soda Stereo, the regulars are in the house. And then I'll post this up. I'll try to get this leaderboard up tomorrow, but for sure I'll have it by by the weekend, and we'll put this on Instagram. So on the Spins Vinyl Instagram, guys. And you can see your name in lights. All right, so I'm going to share screen. I'm going to hit start, and we will get rolling here on Holy Grails and Guilty Pleasures version of Would You Rather. There we are. So yeah, again, it's even right here, Arnaldo. Ensure the screen being used shared is a shared screen. It's a separate screen. Questions will appear on the screen. Answer using the device you've joined with. The faster you answer, the more points you get. Here we go. And if you can't play the game, just play in chat. Let us know what your answer would be in chat. All right, first up. Would you rather have a first pressing of Led Zeppelin 4 or have a first pressing of the Beatles' White Album? And I think the first 10 questions are going to be Grail questions, basically, and then the second half will be hidden gem or Guilty Pleasures. Final Kick says Zepp 4.
Only one of these bands are overrated. Which one is it?
Oh, stop. 13 says the Beatles. What'd you say, Mr. Rojas?
No, I chose Zeppelin 4, and this is not what I was expecting.
Oh, he's already getting buried in the leaderboard. What about you, Arnaldo?
I'm with the winners.
Groove Seeker, I already know what you put.
I only chose the Beatles because it's Arnaldo's favorite band, so I figured I'd get points.
Yeah. Jeez.
All right, let's get our first peek at the leaderboard. Jeff Myers says, still says join. Jeff, if you can't get in, bounce out and try to go back in, my friend. I think that usually works. White with a serial number says Chuck. Jeff White Album, Wyoming Dave. Okay, here we go. Let's keep it rolling. Violent Dreamscape says Zepp. All right, here's our first peek at the leaderboard. Psycho Platters, Music in the House, Tap Records. All right. Would you rather own a complete Beatles mono box or own a complete Rolling Stones OG set?
This one's easy.
Easy, says
Only-
Jason.
Only one of these
up.
bands is overrated.
Final Kick says Stones all day. Man, who's you saying Stones are overrated too?
I didn't say that. I just said one of these bands might be overrated.
Oh, okay. Well, first you said, I know the first question was the other band. And now it's the Beatles. Okay. If it doesn't end, it's probably because someone didn't vote. I'm going to end this here quickly. So get your, we got 5 seconds, guys, to get your votes in on this. What did you guys pick? 13 said the Beatles mono over a set of Stones OGs. It takes a set of Stones to make that pick. What do you say, Jay?
No, I chose the OG Stones. Maybe one day I'll put them all on the wall so you can see them all.
Oh, that would be awesome, dude. Yes. What did you say, Arnaldo?
Oh, the mono box set. I have the mono box set, but I'm always picking the winners. Now I have a strategy.
Now he has a strategy. I already know what you said, Groove Seeker.
But I said the Beatles because I don't want an OG of Voodoo Lounge on my shelf. You know,
You want it to be in the majority.
You don't want that one? What is it? That the Shade one where the ladies in the shade, that live record. You don't want that one?
no,
Get
I'm
outta
good.
here.
Music in the House, Stones, OGs do not sound that great. Okay, going with the mono box. Stones all day, every day says Violent Kicks. Chuck T with the mono. Got the mono box, but I'd pick OG Stones, says Mark Boyd. All right, here we go. Music in the House, Deshaun, Andy, Johnny Fever, Arnaldo. Ooh, you got bumped, Group Seeker. All right, next up, would you rather find a mint condition first pressing of Dark Side of the Moon or find a sealed original Blue Note mono of Miles Davis's Kind of Blue?
Well, it's not on Blue Note. It's on Columbia Records. But
Oh,
we'll give it a
you're
pass.
right.
So we'll just choose.
Yeah, but do you want the Blue Note?
That's gotta
Very
be
rare.
Lab.
Very rare. Yeah, ignore that, guys. Correction. Columbia. All right, I'm gonna end. I'll give 5 more seconds, guys, to jump in on this one. Get your name on the leaderboard. Vinyl Kick's gonna take that Blue Note of Kind of Blue. All right, here we go. Ooh, pretty even. Pretty even. 11 said Dark Side, 9 said Kind of Blue. What'd you say, Jay?
Pick the winners, Dark Side. I
Nice.
got it. It's
Arnaldo's
sitting over
nodding.
there.
Groove Seeker, where were you on this one?
I picked Dark Side because if it's sealed, it might be warped.
Oh, jeez.
A warped Dark Side. All right. Andy, Arnaldo, look at that. He does have a strategy climbing to the top. Johnny Fever back. Would you rather discover a first pressing of Pink Floyd's Piper at the Gates of Dawn in a thrift store or discover a first pressing of the Velvet Underground and Nico with the banana peel in a thrift store? So a thrift store finds here. Imagine that. We going Piper or are we going Velvet and Nico? OGs. It could happen.
Terry Tap Records has a great story. He's discovered the Skull Snaps record at the thrift store. I think $1.99, Terry.
Oh, I think I heard that
Mind-blowing.
story. That's awesome. Dark Side. Okay, that's back on Dark Side. Nico says Chuck T, Music in the House. Thrift store employees don't be giving up those OGs anymore. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually 15 are going for the Velvet
Jeez.
Underground. Oh, what'd you say, Jay?
No, I said Piper at the Gates of Dawn. 'Cause
Ooh,
it seems like people are into Nico, I guess.
they're into Nico.
Shocking.
Arnaldo, are you into Nico?
Yeah, going with the winners.
Of course. How does he know? How does he know? What about you, Group Seeker?
Yeah, I went Velvet Underground.
All right.
Jeez.
Sorry, Jay. You gotta Got to get on the comeback show. Oh, Arnaldo.
Oh my gosh.
He's on top. Donnie Fever, Group
He
Seeker up
gamed
there
it.
too. All right. Would you rather own an original pressing of Bitches Brew by Miles Davis, own a first pressing of Bob Dylan's Highway 61 Revisited? Which first press do you want? By the way, that Bitches Brew is on Blue Note. Would you rather? Okay, I like that. Chasing Records. Would you rather peel the banana though?
It has to be. It told you to do it, and you're supposed
Yeah,
to peel
but
it slowly.
50 years later, do you think that thing is even coming off?
That's a good question.
You
Without
know, there's
tearing
that
half the record.
Raspberries record. Do you know that record, Raspberries? Eric Carmen, right? It has
Yeah.
a scratch and sniff.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, it smells like raspberries.
Does it still smell?
Yes.
Damn.
So I'm wondering if that's a bad science experiment. I don't
Music
think
in the House.
that's healthy.
It's pretty funny. Music in the House says Dylan all day. Sorry, heroin addicts. Ooh, taking a shot.
I know plenty of heroin addicts that like Dylan, though. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, you do? Okay. All right, here we go. We're gonna end it, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, and mono or stereo. Highway 61. Patrick. I didn't get that detailed. I'm sorry. There we go. 12 want the Highway 61. 9 want the Bitches Brew. Next one, I'll be more clear. No more Miles Davis Blue Note errors, and we'll put the mono and stereo on there as well. Ooh, Ronaldo, man, he's vengeance. He's seeking vengeance tonight. All right. Would you rather own a personalized autographed Rolling Stones Exile on Main Street by the whole band, or own a first pressing of the Clash's London Calling?
Jeez.
Personalized Stones.
Did you guys pick Dylan on the last one?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to ask you
all
guys.
day.
Yeah. I knew I liked you guys.
That's my second favorite Dylan album.
Nice.
You're right, Patrick. It does matter.
It was in my Desert Island disc list tonight, Highway 61, but we decided to bait reissues, so next time.
London Calling, says Patrick. Stone, says Charlie Anderson. Signed Stones, you bet, says Psycho's Platters. All right, let's find out who won. 5 seconds on the clock, guys. Get your votes in. 4, 3, 2, and... Ooh, 2/3. 14 said own a personalized signed Exile. And 7 said London Calling. Would you say, Jay?
Mick and Keith would personalize my copy of Exile, and they would say like best in the VC. Jason Rojas, love you. Nick Keith.
With some kissy lips, some
That's
lipstick
right,
on there too.
XX, like Charlie Watts would draw like a sleepy Charlie. Like,
What'd you say, Arnaldo?
Exile all day.
Woohoo. Chris? And be honest.
I've been lost in the supermarket and I've loved it, so I went with the Clash.
There you go. There's no wrong answers, folks, but you just might not hit that leaderboard. Arnaldo Fragile Rojas. No. Yeah. All right. Would you rather own a sealed first pressing of The Doors' LA Woman or own a sealed first pressing of Fleetwood Mac Rumors? Sealed, folks. LA Woman or Rumors?
so it's going to be warped, right? Okay.
That's going to be warped. Who cares?
What can I deal
Or
with?
You're going to get it graded anyway and slabbed.
Jeez.
Sealed LA Woman or sealed Rumors that you can grade, send it off to some auction house and make tons of money on it. Okay, here we go. We're going to end it 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Charlie Anderson says Doors. LA Woman says Wyoming. Dave, The Doors. Anyone here not pick The Doors? Okay, silence. That's good.
I'll never own a copy of Rumors.
Really? Sounds like it's going to be your birthday when I come
Why
at the end of the
not?
month.
Why
I
not?
don't know. I don't want to hear those songs ever again.
Mark Boyd says, I'd flip both, so whichever one would make more. That's the one he wants.
Flip-a-doo.
All right. Arnaldo's still at the top. Oh, God, I can't bring myself to look at that. Okay, would you rather discover a minty first pressing of The Who's Tommy or discover a minty first pressing of Velvet Underground White Light White Heat. The Who's Tommy. Nice little minty first pressing. Don't have to worry about the warp. Or Velvet Underground White Light White Heat. I think that's like their third album, Jason?
It's their second record.
Second.
His second one? Okay. Oh, right. Second one, yeah, okay.
On Blue Note.
On Prestige.
New Jazz. The Who all day, especially Amano. Who sell out too, says Psycho's Platters. Charlie Anderson says Tommy. Mark Boyd says he wants the White Light White Heat. Let's see who wins. 14 say they want that minty fresh underground Velvet Underground White Light White Heat. What'd you say, Jay?
White Light White Heat, because that record never sold. Like, it'd be a miracle you got a mint one, to be honest.
Yeah. That'd be a grail, right?
Yes.
What'd you say, Arnaldo?
I got stuck with the losers this time.
Oh, harsh. So you got stuck with Chris.
No, I went Velvet Underground. I mean, I got the
preview. Personally, I have a very good copy of Tommy's Who, the UK track version. And I would rather that one, but I thought everyone was going for the Who.
See, you outguessed yourself.
I outguessed myself.
Okay.
See, I got passed.
Groove Seeker, he's in the mix. Okay, would you rather own a sealed first pressing of the Beatles' debut? Please please me, obviously, or own a sealed first pressing of Elvis Presley's debut, self-titled Elvis.
So it'll be nice and warped, ready for you.
That's right.
We'll assume this was at the bottom of a stack, and it's just had like 100 pounds of weight on it for 50 years,
right.
60 years. 60 years, huh? Good gosh. Even longer for Elvis. So what are you going for, guys? That's sealed. And by the way, you're going to grade it anyway. And assume, I should have said, to Patrick's point, we should have said that this is a UK mono press, right, of the Beatles' debut. All right, 5 seconds, guys. Music in the house. The Elvis market is dwindling. Charlie Anderson says the Beatles. The Vinyl Dreamscape says the King.
The King would have done a great disco record had he lived.
That's pretty close. 11-9 said the Beatles debut. Anyone here not pick the Beatles, Chris?
I picked Elvis.
I picked Elvis.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
How would you pass up Elvis's first record for the Beatles' first record in any circumstance?
It's true, man.
Holy.
I don't have a minty one. I don't know. I probably can't. Oh, here it is. You mean this?
And I would put it right next to my UK Clash first pressing that I wanted earlier.
I think actually a mint copy of Elvis's debut record probably is worth more than a mint copy of a Beatles record, right?
You would think.
I would think so.
I think so.
No.
I think so, Jason.
Stop making us choose between counterfeits.
Oh,
Chris King loyal.
KRWD still loved Elvis. Absolutely. Got to give Elvis some love. J. Cole, Andy, Emmer Doom, Arnaldo. All right. Would you rather own the full collection of original Beatles mono albums signed, own a complete set of 1950s jazz on Blue Note? I know it's redundant to say jazz on Blue Note. But for those that don't know, all right, so own the full collection of original Beatles mono albums signed, or do you want all them juicy Blue Notes? Oh, geez. Not sealed, not warped, but really clean. Get all that top end in there. All that treble that Jason's missing.
When you're audiophile Goldilocks, anything can happen. Right? When you got to boost that mid-range with some tubes, I guess. I don't know.
KRWD's going Beatles. Vinyl and Kicks is going with the Blue Notes. The Beatles, says Chuck. Beatles, says Charlie. Psycho's Platters, especially the UK mono White Album and Pepper 2.
This is going to be close.
Wyoming Dave says, I'm not as big of a Beatles, so I picked the Blue Notes. Mark Boyd, Blue Notes. Blue Note for Decoy Cards. Shout out Decoy Cards. All right, here we go. Okay, wow. There you go. Your Beatles.
Because Ringo would have signed it to me, He would have been like, my VC Goldilocks, right? Ringo.
I chose the blue note because I hate when people write on records, so I wouldn't want that.
Oh, you didn't want it. Okay. What'd you say, Arnaldo?
Oh, the Beatles all day.
There you go. Would Ringo, would have he have given you his typical 2-finger salute, Jay, or the 1-finger salute?
It actually would have been some sloppy thing. You need like another translator to review it.
All right, there's your leaderboard, guys. There's still time. We're only halfway. Here we go. Would you rather only listen to ABBA's greatest hits for a week straight, or only listen to Spice Girls, Spice World for a week straight? Guys, we're on guilty pleasures now.
This is insulting.
Guilty pleasure time. By the way, no hate, no hate. These are just guilty pleasures. It's going to be ABBA for a week, guys, or is it going to be Spice Girls for a week? Oh, Chuck T. KRWD says ABBA, no problem. Mark Boy says, I'm warning Rojas with peace and love. Ugh to either Psycho Platters, but ABBA wins. Well, this is, one person's garbage is another person's guilty pleasure. Wyoming Dave ABBA, Charlie ABBA, music in the house. He who controls the spice controls the universe.
That's right.
Keeping it in the mainstream. Whoa, 21 said ABBA, 1 for the Spice Girls. Did anyone here say Spice Girls? Okay, silence. I'm going to take that as a no.
ABBA's great.
Huh?
ABBA's great.
Yeah, they are. Well, yeah.
Damn.
You saying what's wrong with the Spice Girls?
They're okay.
I prefer Ace of Base.
All right, there's your leaderboard. 1 point separating first place. Would you rather own a signed copy of Kenny G's Breathless or own a signed copy of Justin Bieber's Purpose? Woo! We're getting deep into the guilty pleasure well now.
Damn.
Come on, Chris. You got those Justin Biebers. People are just stopped voting. They're like, I'm not going to put one of these. For all the believers.
The Vinyl Dreamscape is pride.
You got
Sounds like me in the election.
Yeah, Vinyl Dreamscape, he's out. I refuse to vote. Exactly.
Jeez.
The lesser of the evils. That's how you have to vote these days, Vinyl.
I saw this question, and I'm a believer. Is that what they say?
Yes.
All right, here we go. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. 12 believers in the house and 9 Kenny G fans.
Right. The Beebs would have signed mine. He would have signed mine. Yep, I agree. The mid-range was boosted. Beebs.
Beebs is a big Fish fan.
Arnaldo in the top 3. Keep going, Arnaldo. Here we go. Would you rather play Hanson's Middle of Nowhere every day for a month or play the Backstreet Boys Millennium at your wedding?
This is easy, SNL 50. Who did they invite for the musical guest? Backstreet.
I still need to watch that, actually.
They did not invite Hanson, okay?
All right.
I
actually did see that performance. It was actually pretty cool, I thought.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of it?
It's good.
Backstreet Boys, I thought that was, and I'm not a fan or anything, but I thought it was pretty good.
When you're the Backstreet and you're going out in the crowd, like you're pointing at people to sing. I think he gave the mic to Jerry Seinfeld and he messed it up.
Oh, yeah.
That was,
you're right. Well, you just see people's faces and stuff. It was pretty cool, right? I mean, that's their generation. They're like,
John Hamm would have been like, give me that mic, fool. Like, let me do it right.
All right, last chance. Are we going Hanson or are we going Backstreet at the wedding? Here we go. Of course you want Backstreet Boys at the wedding, right? Come on.
But only one of these bands opened for Bob Weir. Just remember that.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, is that what you went?
Hanson, of course.
Okay. What'd you guys say? Arnaldo, what'd you say?
Oh, the Backstreet.
Of course. Jay went Backstreet, right?
Yes.
If I was voting, I went Backstreet, but I'm not
because
voting.
Beck Hansen isn't part of Hanson. Let's just be honest.
Arnaldo, give us the double peace signs. Would you rather have a signed copy of NSYNC's No Strings Attached or have a signed copy of Britney Spears' Baby One More Time? I want a copy from Britney Spears, and it has to say, to Jason, love you. Every day for a month, Chuck T. That's all right. Team NSYNC says Vinyl and Cakes. Backstreet.
Need it signed by Britney so she can write, I prefer OG Stones, just so you know.
They're not overrated.
I don't see the third option for rather be waterboarded, but
you mean the third option, Christina Aguilera, all day.
yes.
Oh,
hell yeah.
See. All right. Well, that's for next time. All right, here we go, guys. Gonna click the button, so be ready. 17, want that Britney Spears? Yes, that is the correct answer. Anyone not say Britney Spears on the panel? Of course not. All right, here we go. Next round is up. Be fast, Arnaldo. It's close. It's only 6-point lead. Would you rather listen to Whitney Houston's The Bodyguard soundtrack every day for a month or listen to Mariah Carey's There She Is, greatest hits for an entire month?
UHQR, no?
Just of course.
You should have put Mariah Carey's Christmas album.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Well, is the Christmas song on the greatest hits?
I don't think so.
Well, which one? She probably has a few.
Yeah.
Vinyl Kicks is for Mariah.
I hope it's not.
KRWD wants Whitney, Mark Boyd, Mariah. Okay, see, it's pretty even.
There's some clunkers on that Bodyguard soundtrack.
Yeah, it's
if you take out the Whitney Houston songs, there's some bad 90s production.
Yeah. Breakfast King voting with his emojis right there. All right, here we go, guys. 3, 2, 1. Whitney all day. Although, did you get it right, Arnaldo?
No.
Oh no!
Wow.
Love Mariah. Come on, the greatest hits by Mariah.
Ooh, what'd you say, Jay?
Looks like I voted for Mariah, man.
Oh, you guys.
Mariah's the coolest. She's the one who sampled "Genius of Love." Come on.
Final Dreams guy says, "I wish one of the options was being ripped apart by sharks." He would have voted for that one. Fan of Whitney, but not The Bodyguard. Of course, that's why it's there, Vinyl and Kicks, to torture you. Oh, Arnaldo.
I'm slipping.
You're so close, man. All right. Would you rather own a Hall & Oates album signed or own a Neil Diamond album signed?
Jeez.
There's only one. Right. There's only one right answer.
Wow.
Neil Diamond would have signed mine. Diamond in the rough. Rojas. Diamond in the rough.
He would have said, "Follow that, Rojas."
That's right. Dry your tears. Right? Ugh, man.
Damn. We got a Hall & Oates. We got Neil Diamond, Psycho Platters. Oh my. I mean, obviously, I would pick Hall & Oates. Anything with Daryl Hall's John Hancock on it, I want it. All right, 3, 2, and 1. Mr. Diamond says Vinyl Cheapskate. Who's right? Who's wrong? 13 picked Hall & Oates.
It's close.
How's the panel doing? Arnaldo shaking his head.
Of course.
Vote with your heart, Arnaldo. It's the only way.
I should have voted with my heart instead of with the strategy.
Yep. That's right. You got, what, 3 more to go or 4 more to go? 4 more to go. Here we go. Out of the top 3. That's okay. You got this. Would you rather have a sealed copy of the Macarena 12-inch or have a sealed copy of Aqua's Barbie Girl?
The great thing is they're both sealed, so you can't play them.
You can grade them and you get $10 for them, though.
And you don't care if they're warped.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay, 913. These, I try to make them tough. This one's a little silly because we were talking about guilty pleasures earlier. So, Macarena says Vinyl and Kicks. Music in the House says just slab them. All right.
I have the 45 of the Macarena. I intend to play it on a Sunday stream one day.
Oh yes, you have to, dude. All right, here we go, guys. 3 seconds. Get your votes in. Ooh.
Oh my God.
Wow.
A tie, dude. 10 and 10.
Wow.
That's
funny. I don't know if that helps you or hurts you, Arnaldo. Let's see.
I don't know. Let's see.
No, it's pretty much, you're right where you were. All right, here we go. Would you rather fall asleep to Mariah Carey's Butterfly every night for a year or fall asleep to Celine Dion's Falling Into You Every Night for a Year? I got to be honest, I had to look these up. I'm not even that familiar with these.
Celine Dion all the way. Like she hits her chest, like she's going to sing harder and longer. That does nothing. That's just hurting her. You know? That is nothing.
Yeah, you want that chest full of air. Like you don't want to knock it out of there. So which one are you going to fall asleep to for a year, guys? Mariah Carey's like high-pitched squealing or fall asleep to Celine Dion's Falling Into You Every Night?
Chest beating, Titanic, Celine Dion.
All right, 3 seconds. We're about at the 2-hour mark, so we're going to jam through these. All right, here we go. 14, call for Mariah Carey. Wow. I don't even want to ask Arnaldo.
I didn't vote for Mariah this time because if I'm falling asleep, I think Celine Dion is more appropriate.
Okay.
This is crazy, but I actually have fallen asleep for a year straight to Mariah Carey's Butterfly.
Have you? All right. Immer Doom. Andy, J. Kel, music in the house. Where's Arnaldo? We got to get him back. We got 2 more questions. Would you rather appear in the Billy Ray Cyrus Some Gave All music video or appear in the Shania Twain's Come On Over music video? You want to go on the Shania Twain? You know, imagine you're dressed up, you got your gear on, your cowboy hat. Maybe you're just getting off a horse.
Just want PSA, public service. Well, yeah, public service announcement. Shania Twain is not a descendant of Mark Twain. Just heads up.
Okay.
All right.
Did you? What is it? 23 and what is that called? 23 and Me? Is that what that's called? Is that the thing where you look up your? Never mind. Your ancestry.
I think it
Ancestry.com, maybe. Did I get it right, Groove Seeker?
I think so.
23 and Me is not what it is, guys. I don't do mullet, says Dr. Johnny Fever. Shania with a question mark, says Mark Boyd. U.S. vs. Canada Part Do. Shania, that's a no-brainer, says KRWD. Breakfast King is just fit to be tied. All right, here we go, guys. Ooh, look at that. Yeah. 19, said Shania.
I'm a teenager when that comes out. I get a shot to dance with Shania and shoot my shot one time. Come on. Come on.
He doesn't mean it, Mrs. Groove Seeker.
This is before Mrs. Groove Seeker.
All right. Arnaldo and Jason, are you in the correct side this time?
Yeah, Shania. All day.
All right, here we go. Arnaldo dropped one more. Johnny Fever stepping in there. Here we go. Last round, folks. Would you rather listen to Milli Vanilli's Girl You Know It's True all day at work for a day, or Vanilla Ice's Ice Ice Baby all day for a day at work? Sorry, that's probably way more words than it had to be. You going Milli Vanilli all day at work, or you going Vanilla Ice all day at work?
Iceman cometh.
The Iceman cometh.
Pretty extreme question here.
The lesser of the evils.
Play that funky music.
Iceman forever, says Concert Buddy.
Vanilla Ice. Jeez.
I mean, it's almost like you're listening to Rick James. I mean, you could kind of make that argument.
For who? For Millie?
From Vanilla Ice.
Oh yeah.
Ice Ice Baby, taken from.
Well, no, it was taken from
Queen.
Oh, right, got the wrong song. You're right. You're right.
Pressure.
My bad.
I always mix up Rick James and Queen. I always confuse those.
All right. Who does the other one then? What was I thinking?
You were thinking
MC Hammer.
MC Hammer that takes from Rick James.
You're right. Yep, MC Hammer. I mean, yeah.
And I've confused MC Hammer for Vanilla Ice too. Guilty as charged.
Yeah. Can we say maybe he was a little on the vanilla side of the rap? Right?
All right, drum roll, guys. Here we go. That was close. People want to hear Ice Ice all day.
That was really close.
What'd you say, Jay?
You know, I have a signed Vanilla Ice record. That's just the way to go. Yeah,
all right.
That is the way.
Arnaldo?
Ice Ice Baby.
All right. Groove Seeker.
Do 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 do.
By the way, I know everyone says it's a Queen song. I call it a Bowie song. I love Bowie in that. That's a great.
I don't know. Stop, collaborate, and listen. Ice is back with a new invention, right? Come on.
I think so.
Oh, that's right. Are you guys ready for your leaderboard? Here we go.
Have you ever seen when he justifies the sample? He's like, no. Under pressure goes do 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 do. But Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah. Ooh, Arnaldo, you got back in the top 3.
Nice.
Dimmer Doom, Music in the House, Andy, Groove Seeker, Johnny Fever, Soda Stereo, Shane Vinyl, and Chase. Page 2. Sorry. This isn't you, right, Rojas?
No, that's
okay. All right. I don't want to give it any airtime. I just all right. So the JKL, Jeff K. Myers, Mr. Rojas, Lucky 13 Rojas, Psycho Platters, Deshaun, Tap Records, Decoy, ATY, Kicks, 86, David H, Sean, Tokyo Brian, Tim UAV, and JKL 913. Nothing to be ashamed of, guys. That's awesome, man. All right, look for this leaderboard coming soon to a Instagram near you. Woo! I'm sweating.
I finally got the game right.
Huh?
I finally got the game right.
You got it right. Dude, you were working hard. Look at that. He's in the top 3. Groove Seeker, number 5.
Hey, what can I say?
If you would have been on the right side a couple times, you may have given Arnaldo.
Yeah, I think that was it. A couple times I was on the wrong side.
Yep.
Even when I'm wrong, I'm right. So
and I think what this program is calculating also by how much the right side is. I think it multiplies in a certain way versus. So if you hit the button at the same time as the other first person that hits the button, like your first 2 people, but you hit the wrong side instead of the right side, and the right side maybe crushes it by 20-4, probably it's even greater, the divide, even though you both hit it at the same time.
Okay, that's a good point, actually.
I don't know. Who knows how this works?
Yeah, I wonder if they post it, or maybe I'm looking right now. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I'll have this information next time we do this.
It'd be interesting to see how many times everyone that ended up at the top were one of the first entries that clicked.
Yeah, just right. Like, how do they figure out that curve?
It's the geeky numbers guy in me. Sorry.
Oh, Terry from Tap Records has a quick question for me. I listened to it once on Sunday night. I'm going back to it this weekend. I need to sit and get through it. It's definitely different, but I really want to be able to talk about it with you. So I'm going back to those files. I appreciate it.
Nice. Number 7. Okay, yeah, Cesar. Got to get to number 1. I think Cesar hit number 1 on one of these at some point, if I'm not mistaken. All right, guys. Any mic drops before we let the world go to sleep here? We talked Holy Grails, Guilty Pleasures, Desert Island Records, and reissues. Anything that is left unsaid?
Buy the reissue, buy the fresh one. Leave those OGs alone. Leave them alone. I gotta
hunt for that loss. I was always happy with the CD, but yeah, I'd never come by that. I never see it anywhere. Various record fairs that I've been to, I've never seen an OG copy of that.
It's a good one.
Well, maybe it'll be at WFMU this year, guys. I mean, by the way, this is your WFMU crew right here. We're going to be there. So if you guys are in the area or even thinking about going, you guys should go and say hi to us. That'd be really fun. More to come on that. But yeah, we'll all be there November 8th and 9th, Saturday and Sunday. Thanks to everyone. I always love to see, people that comment that they had fun with the games. It encouraged me to come back with another one better even next time. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching, for the panel. Thanks for being here again. And next Thursday, Service Noise will be back. Of course, Chance will be hosting next week. And yeah, there we go. Another one in the books. All right, guys. We're taking you out with some bangers. Don't sleep on this. Track 3, Drab Majesty, Modern Mirror.
Peter Cetera forever.
See you guys.